AskReddit by SmallNet 2118. What single common misconception has caused the most damage in all of human history? There's two types of people. Leaders get followers easily with this one simple trick. Them. Us. It was much better to imagine men in some smoky room somewhere, made mad and cynical by privilege and power, plotting over brandy. You had to cling to this sort of image, because if you didn't then you might have to face the fact that bad things happened because ordinary people, the kind who brushed the dog and told the children bedtime stories, were capable of then going out and doing horrible things to other ordinary people. It was so much easier to blame it on them. It was bleakly depressing to think that they were us. If it was them, then nothing was anyone's fault. If it was us, then what did that make me? After all, I'm one of us. I must be. I've certainly never thought of myself as one of them. No one ever thinks of themselves as one of them. We're always one of us. It's them that do the bad things. Terry Pratchett in Jingo. That tomorrow will take care of itself. Tomorrow might manage to struggle through, but they'll curse all their yesterdays for their selfishness and short-sightedness. Poetic. That health issues and treatment for men is the same for women. Women often have different symptoms for the same ailments as men do, and this was discovered embarrassingly recently. Even things like ADHD and autism tend to show differently in women. Mine is the superior race. I'm not a racist, but fuck the 100m-. Going after fat instead of sugar for healthier diets may not be the biggest, but definitely a significant misconception that affected many. Also bad is the overcorrection in the other direction, where people think fat is good and sugar is bad. In reality there's good and bad fat, and good and bad sugar. Poly and monounsaturated fat, but saturated and trans fats, but sugar in a piece of fruit, but refined sugar in a soda, but my God is more important than your God. In the immortal words of George Carlin, R.I.P., my God has a bigger dick than your God. Hymens are not some sort of virginity seal that permanently breaks from penetration. They are not supposed to fully cover things. It causes medical issues when it rarely does. They are often broken through regular activity and they do not vanish because of sex. There are sexually active women with hymens. Misconceptions about this tiny body part have been and continue to be used as an excuse to control, harm women, and execute. The Emperor of China can control the weather. With North Korea's permission, of course. Honestly, I think it's the myth that nuclear power is particularly dangerous, which was propagated by groups like Friends of the Earth, who were founded and funded with oil company money. Nuclear power is thousands of times safer than burning coal, but we've pretty much fucked the atmosphere by not switching to nuclear 50 years ago. Belief changes truth. Like placebo. That women are incapable of a lot of things. So much wasted potential. Can you imagine what the world would look like today if half the world's talent and minds hadn't been actively suppressed for thousands of years? My belief is as valuable as your evidence-based fact. Mao having, among others, all sparrows killed, which resulted in a famine that killed 15 to 55 million people. I'm pretty sure if I went back in time the gross ignorance would be pretty obvious. What do you mean by sociopath? Stalin is great at parties, he's very social. That vaccines cause autism. Two guys, the whole thing can be traced back to just two guys. Skin color matters. The worst part to me is just how recent it is. The idea of an ethnographic hierarchy only really dates back to Victorian times. Just because some European tards thought that other civilizations weren't as smart because they didn't prioritize technical advances doesn't mean they are lesser. The English had to innovate because they lived on a rock with shitty soil. If they had lived somewhere better, they could have relaxed a little more and not had to fight everyone else to get some decent food. Your God hates other people race kind. So, you need to make sure everyone knows it and evangelize them so you both honor the same God. Someone else will do it has done it. The ends justify the means fallacy has one of the highest body counts. I'm spoken to way too many people who use that as a justification for removing people's human rights. The sad thing is they say it absent-mindedly because they assume it'll never affect them. Nope, if you remove human rights from one person, then there's no point in having them. You may be next. Killing other humans is okay in this circumstance. Monkey killing monkey over pieces of the ground may not be the most damage, but there are still so many people who believe the alpha theory in wolves and dogs. Even the person who founded it regrets it. It was a study that was done on domesticated wolves and even then it was inaccurate. The people who still believe this tend to be overbearing towards their dogs, which just makes their dogs scared of them and breaks the trust between dog and owner. The reality is, dogs are habitual animals. They thrive on a schedule. If you feed your dog every day at the same day, you'll notice they basically get ready for mealtime about 15-30 minutes in advance. Dogs also have the brain power similar to toddlers. Just do basic training and reinforce that training and you'll be fine. Yes, but are there Sigma dogs? I am better than him, this envy started it all. That the wealthy are more intelligent, hardworking, and virtuous. Giving all the authority and executive rights to just one person is a flawless way of government. Even better yet, these rights ought to be passed to family members of our said person if he/she dies. Surely his/her relatives are just as intelligent and capable as him/her. It's harmless to pump carbon into the atmosphere. That toilet paper rolls behind the roll. Toilet paper goes over the top, baby. Says the person that doesn't have cats.